Dave Cohen joined by Georgia State's head football coach Trent Miles. And, Coach, thanks for joining us. The spring game in the rearview mirror. I'm sure you've had a chance to go back and watch a little video from the spring game, maybe some things that stood out as you've taken some time to watch it and break it down.
Well, I thought we got better. We simplified things for the spring game. We had a few injuries, and we didn't want to get anybody hurt. The spring game really wasn't a spring game. It was a spring final practice, and with some scrimmage thrown in there. But we were able to accomplish some goals that we had from the very beginning. That was to evaluate the players that we have, to install our type of play, the way we want our kids, our expectation level that we have for our kids, and then teaching the schemes and not get anybody hurt. So, in that regard, it worked out well, but we still have a long way to go.
I was going to say, at this point, it seems like the key word is progress. As long as you're making progress each and every time out, then it's been a good day.
Well, that's the whole key to making this step. You're going from playing football for 3 years to Division I football, and that's not going to happen overnight. And it is you have to go through the progress of doing it, and there's steps. And the main step right now is teaching these kids how to compete, and the expectation level we have to be able to go out day in and day out in the classroom, in the weight room, on the football field, and in society, and compete as a Division I athlete. Once we get that mastered, then we'll start working on the winning part of it. But it was a work in progress this spring. Kids got better, and we're not close to where we need to be. But we're just keep pushing forward. As long as we're going there, we'll eventually get to where we need to be.
I know one of the areas that you take a keen interest in, and you've talked about this quite a bit, is the play along the lines, both offensive and defensive. Anybody stand out in the scrimmage at the Dome with their play, both offensive and defensive side?
Well, I thought, defensively, Joe Lockley had a good scrimmage. Did some really good things. He had missed a lot of spring football with an injury, but he came out and showed some ability. We had a couple D linemen that we held out. Nerman Deli has had a great spring for us, and Theo Agnew had a great spring for us, and both of those guys didn't play much in that final practice. Offensively, Grant King had a really good spring, and as did a couple other guys on the offensive line. But we also didn't have Mark Ruskell in there, Harrison Clotty, or Ulrich John. Those are guys that play a lot for us, and they missed most of all of the spring. So, we had some young guys step in, that are learning the position and transitioning well. But again, that group needs cohesiveness. It needs to be together for a while, and that's going to be a work through the summer with Coach Pollard and the senior leaders on the team, and getting them ready to go. So when we get here in August, we're a tight-knit unit, and we'll go from there.
One of the areas the Panthers, of course, want to get better at is running the football. You brought in Gerald Howes from the JUCO ranks during the offseason. He was able to get, I think, 5 carries in the scrimmage, along with Travis Evans and Duval Smith. What do you think of the guys carrying the football at this point?
Well, Gerald broke his hand in the scrimmage. Actually, in the pregame before the scrimmage, and played the scrimmage with a broken hand. But he runs strong. He runs well between the tackles. He's not the explosive breakaway speed guy, but he brings the big back and able to get the tough yards. The other guys are good complements. Again, we're still going to rely upon our recruiting there. We've got some issues that we need to fill in for the home run hitters and those kind of things. But if we can get good, dependable runs out of those guys, and we can get some really good pass protection out of those guys, and find a way to utilize them in the screen game and out of the backfield, everybody just needs to do their job to the best of their ability, and we'll have a chance.
Of course, I got to ask you about the battle at quarterback. You got 2 guys returning. You brought in 1 new guy in Clay Chastain. How did you think they looked in the scrimmage?
Some good, some bad. They're still learning. We had to cut way back for the spring game, which allowed Clay to perform better. Ben has the experience, and Ronnie's played some, so it's a battle. We won't name a starter until after the Blue-White scrimmage in the fall, 2 weeks before the first game. We're going to give everybody an opportunity to keep competing, and we're still recruiting. So, we don't know what it's going to be, who it's going to be, but whoever it is going to have to be a leader, manage the game, be able to make some good throws for us, but get us in the right plays and manage the game and the clock, and be the team leader, and that's who will be our starter.
Final question before we let you go. You mentioned team leader. Any guys that are kind of coming to the forefront and showing that they want to embrace the role as being one of the on-field leaders of this team, whether on the offensive or the defensive side, that you've seen so far?
Well, Kel Singleton's done a good job on the defensive side. Joe Peterson's really starting to come on. Robert Ferguson's trying to. Nerman Delik's trying up front, as is Theo Agnew. They're doing a good job of trying to embrace the role. Offensively, Ulrich John is a natural leader. I mean, he's one of your best players, and he does a really good job of talking to the offensive line. It's really hard when he sits out the whole spring because of his shoulder, but he's still making that effort in behind the scenes in the meeting rooms, and there's numerous other ones that are attempting to do it. We've got to get some senior leadership. Dan Williams, got to get him healthy and get him back. And then obviously from the quarterback position has to be a leader. So, we're a work in progress with that. And young men are trying. I think we have a team that wants to, and we have a team that's trying. And it's our job as coaches to get them to where they want to be and where they want to go. So, that's what we're in the process of doing. And again, it's a process every day. There's something new to teach and something to grow on. And now we're into the phase of spring recruiting and evaluations and getting our team through finals and making sure that we have no hiccups, from the final standpoint, and everybody's back for a great summer. And I left out a guy, Brent McClendon's done an excellent job all spring of leading by example, and has really played well in the secondary. So there's some guys there. We've just got to get them focused on the way we want it done, and them to be able to go out and do it within the team and make everybody around them better.